On New Year's Day of 2021, 28-year-old Jessica Nicole Stacks, she went missing under mysterious circumstances while boating on the Tallahatchie River in New Albany, Mississippi. Now, Jessica and her boyfriend, a man named Jerry Wayne Baggett, apparently they borrowed a boat from a friend because they wanted to float down the rain-swollen river, and they used a shovel, not an oar, but a shovel to steer as they hunted for animals. Now, at some point during this trip, Jessica reportedly said she needed to leave the boat because she felt some discomfort and requested that Baggett drop her off on the north side of the river. Now, Baggett claimed she planned to walk to Highway 30, which was about a mile away, but she was never seen or heard from again. Now, this gets more mysterious because Baggett did not report her missing until 10:15 that night, almost 12 hours after their last contact. When the authorities got there to search, they found some troubling clues. A coat matching Jessica's, gloves, footprints, and a single rubber boot with the top cut off. Details that Baggett, her boyfriend, had mentioned before about her discomfort with the boots. Now, like a wildfire out of control, suspicions about her disappearance grew, especially from Jessica's family, who questioned Baggett, her boyfriend. They questioned his story, and they showed how many inconsistencies there were with his story. For one, they found it unlikely that Jessica would somehow just take such a dangerous trip on a fast moving river in a boat without proper equipment. Now, 2 years later, under questioning, Baggett changed his story during an interview. Now he says he never saw Jessica on January 1st and that the boat trip, it never happened. Further deepening the mystery about her disappearance. Despite extensive searches and ongoing investigations, Jessica's case remains unsolved, with very little evidence to clarify whether she was a victim or not. The Union County Sheriff's Office continues to investigate, but Jessica's family remains frustrated with the lack of answers and closure. If you have any information at all, please call the Union County Sheriff's Office at 662 534 1943. Jessica went missing on 1/1 of 21. She is 5 feet 5 tall, 5 feet 5 inches tall, weighs 110 pounds. She has blonde hair and green eyes. Her ears, nose, and tongue are pierced. She has the following tattoos: the name Kayleigh, Kayleigh, on her back, a tribal design on her lower back, a butterfly on her right hand near her thumb, a letter on her ring finger, the name Kobe, Cobie, in black script with a multicolored puzzle piece on her forearm, the name Braden, Brayden, in black script on the inside of her wrist, a Playboy bunny with little sis underneath the left side of her pelvis, and the word love on her calf. Again, if you have any information regarding her disappearance, please call the Union County Sheriff's Office at 662 534 1943. Thank you. In February 19th of 2022, Savannah Marie Mahoney was a 22-year-old woman from Lakeland, Florida. Now, she was last seen near Skyview Drive and Combee Road, but what was strange here is that she left behind her phone, her purse, and other belongings, and she has not been seen or heard from since. Even her social media accounts, which were always active before February 19th, have now remained silent. This behavior, very unusual, raised concerns amongst her family and friends. Now, Savannah hit some hard times, like we all hit hard times sometimes. But she had been working on turning her life around after being released from prison, following a drug related charge. Now, her mother believes that Savannah may have met with foul play because of the circumstances of her disappearance. Despite searches and investigations and questioning and door knocks, no significant leads have surfaced, leaving her family and the police in search of answers. At the time of her disappearance, Savannah had several distinct tattoos, including a small cross under her right eye and a homemade tattoo of a diamond with the name Richard on her right forearm. These identifying features, along with her brown hair and hazel eyes, are essential details that could help if anyone has information about her whereabouts. As of today, Savannah's case remains open, and anyone with information is urged to contact the Polk County Sheriff's Office. Her family and friends are hoping to get some kind of closure, and they remain steadfast in their search for answers. Please help to bring Savannah home. Thank you. The disappearance of Stephanie Michele Buehler is a haunting and unresolved mystery from September 8th of 1990. Stephanie was just 2 days shy of her 19th birthday. Now, she was last seen in Houston, Texas when her car broke down near the Westmeyer Road and Beltway 8, which is a bustling area in the city. It's a very busy area. This tragic case has been cold for decades, yet it continues to stir emotions and questions among those who knew her and those familiar with her story. Stephanie Buehler was an 18-year-old woman known for her vibrant personality and distinct tattoos. She was tall, standing at 5'7" with brown hair and brown eyes. Her tattoos are often mentioned in her cases because they are unique, which should make her easy to identify. She had a red and black heart with the word taxi, Taxi, on her left shoulder, a skull smoking a cigarette on her left breast, and the words wicked innocence on her right shoulder. These tattoos reflect a bold and expressive personality, someone who was unafraid to stand out. And now we start with the mystery. On September 8th, Stephanie was out driving near the Westheimer and Beltway 8 area, a part of Houston known for its heavy traffic and commercial activity. Now, her vehicle, a Volkswagen, had a flat tire, which forced her to park near the roadside. The police believe that she left her vehicle and started to walk the short distance back to her apartment, which was about half a mile away, but tragically, somehow she never made it back. Sadly and most frustratingly, witnesses or specific details from that very night are scarce. She was last seen close to her vehicle, but no one reported seeing her walking back to her apartment or interacting with anyone along the way. This lack of immediate information or witnesses added to the eerie nature of her disappearance. And despite the busy location, it seemed that Stephanie simply vanished into the night without a trace. By the next day, Stephanie's family became very alarmed when they could not reach her. Now, her car was found abandoned, with the flat tire still visible, but there was no signs of a struggle or any clues that could explain where she had gone. Sadly, foul play was suspected early on, but with little evidence, the investigation, it just stalled. Now, the Houston Police Department, to their credit, did begin a thorough investigation into her disappearance. They canvassed the area around her car, hoping to find witnesses or any surveillance footage that may have captured her. However, this investigation did not turn up much at all in the way of concrete evidence. The case grew very cold very quickly, to the frustration of her family and her friends. Investigators believe that Stephanie may have been abducted while walking away from her car to her apartment. Although a theory, and it cannot be confirmed, this is probably the most likely theory they're using right now. The fact that her car was in a public area with no immediate signs of struggle, that just added to the mystery. The police speculate that someone may have offered to help her with her flat tire, or that she encountered someone with malicious intent along the way. The lack of evidence meant that the investigation relied heavily on theories and leads, most of which led nowhere. Despite their efforts, no one could pinpoint exactly what happened to her once she left the car. Now, as the years go by on these missing cases, stories, theories start to grow, speculation starts to grow, and so there are a few theories for her disappearance. The first one is abduction by a stranger, right? So the most commonly held belief is that she fell victim to an abduction. She was a young woman alone at night in a busy but potentially dangerous area of town, and some theorize that a predator could have targeted her. Houston at that time has seen its share of violent crime, and her disappearance seemed to fit into the pattern of other unsolved cases from that period. The second theory is this. Some have speculated that there is a link to her case and other crimes in the area because just weeks before she vanished, a young couple, Cheryl Henry and Andy Atkinson, were brutally murdered not far from where Stephanie was last seen. Now, some investigators and amateur sleuths have looked at the possibility that her abduction might be connected to the same killer. The third one is foul play by an acquaintance. Yes, foul play by an acquaintance. So, the police never publicly identified anybody of interest from Stephanie's circle, but the possibility remains that she may have been harmed by someone she knew. Via stats, this is not uncommon for young women to disappear at the hands of someone they are familiar with. The last one is a random attack. Yes, it's plausible. This is a plausible theory, in fact, that she was simply in the wrong place at the wrong time and became the victim of a random act of violence. This could be it. The fact is this, we just don't know whether it was foul play or a random attack or abduction. Nobody knows. So, the disappearance of Stephanie is tragic. Unsolved cases that serve as a stark reminder for us of how vulnerable young women can be and the chilling uncertainty that surrounds missing person cases. More than 3 decades later, 30 years later, her family still searches for answers, and the hope for justice, well, it lingers. While her case remains cold, the desire for closure persists in the hearts of those who loved her. Until new evidence or a breakthrough emerges, her story will remain one of Houston's most enduring mysteries. Stephanie went missing on September 8th of 1980 from Houston, Texas. She's a white female born September 10th, 1971. She will be 53 years old today. She stands 5'7", 125 pounds. She has brown hair and brown eyes. Her nickname is Shelly, but she may go by her middle name, Michelle. She has 4 tattoos, the word taxi in a red and black heart, a musical note, and a zigzag on her upper left arm. The phrase wicked innocence with a long-haired skull on her right shoulder, a cigarette-smoking skull on her left breast, and a red rose with a spiderweb on the back of her right shoulder. If you have anything to offer to this case, to bring about some kind of closure to her family, her friends, please contact the Houston Police Department at 713-884-3131. Thank you.